gonna make sure we are live. Hello, everyone. We are live tonight for Wedding Wednesday, and we're going to wait just a few minutes for people to get logged on and make sure everything's working okay. I'm gonna text Shelby real quick. Okay, so so excited to be here. I'm so excited about this live. We are going to talk today to Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events. And we have 3 great topics. So we're just really excited to have Terrie on this live with us. So if you are tuning in, obviously we are on our Top Weddings Facebook page, and then also we are in our 417 Engaged Couples group. So if you are engaged and not a part of that group, you can actually join in. You can request to join that group at any time. Shelby is watching the feed, so you can join in even during this live. So, and then we have 3 different topics that we'll talk about tonight with Terrie, and then we will. So we're going to kind of cut in between each one, but we'll talk about all 3 of them during this live. So, so thank you all for joining us. We're excited you're here and excited to be here. Obviously, you know, before we were doing lives a little bit different. We were actually doing them in our studio, but because of all of the craziness, we are doing it this way, which, so we're just, we're not together, but we're together in our heart, right, Terrie?
Right.
So let's go ahead. This, again, is Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events. And Terrie, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Okay. Terrie Reno with Complete Weddings and Events. I am a mother to 3 little girls. I've been married to my husband, Brian, for 15 years. I started as a DJ in the wedding business 18 years ago. It's hard to believe that was 2002. I was fresh out of college and had a degree in business and public relations and wanted to do something in weddings, and did that as a side job while I worked my real job. And in 2005, I was able to purchase the Springfield franchise of Complete Weddings and Events, and I've been here ever since.
And you have seen a lot.
Oh, yes.
Through the years, for sure. And you guys at Complete, tell me all the different things that you offer, because I know what we're going to be talking about tonight, but just tell us about all the different things you offer at Complete.
Yeah, we have a very talented team of individuals who specialize in what they do. So we offer DJs and MCs, photo booth operators, photographers, videographers, and lighting technicians.
Okay, perfect. So we have some great topics tonight. We're going to cover 3 topics with Terrie. So obviously the first one is how to engage your guest at a wedding reception. Oh, nope, sorry. We changed that around. We're going to do the benefits of having a photo booth at your reception first. And then we're going to do how to engage your guest at a wedding reception, which Terrie's seen a lot of that. And then we're going to cover questions to ask when hiring your wedding entertainment. So, so hopefully, you know, the reason why we bring this every week is to help couples that are engaged and planning their wedding. And we really just want to be a resource. You know, on Top Weddings, we have 50 wedding professionals, and all of them are amazing. And all of them have a heart, you know, to help every couple. And so all of them have volunteered with us and are have been doing these lives with us. So, okay, Terrie, let's go ahead and get started. So first topic that we're going to cover is the benefits of having a photo booth at your reception.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and get the screen. There you go.
All right.
Moved. Okay.
All right, so photo booths became real popular around 2011. That's when Complete first added it to our portfolio of services that we offer. And I remember when we first added it, I'm pretty conservative and I thought that, oh, this is never going to go over. This is something you do at the mall when you're a teenager. This isn't something grown adults want to do, you know? And so when I went out for my first time training on it, there were a set of grandparents there and they got in the photo booth and printed out the strip and gave it to them. And the grandparents said to me, this is the first time we've had a photo printed in like 45 years. So I thought, oh my gosh, this photo booth is so much more than something for teenagers. It provides so many great benefits for your photo booth. So the first thing, of course, it's entertainment for your guests. It gives them something to do while they wait for the bride and groom to maybe arrive, while dinner is finishing up. It just gives them something to do in the interim, or even during the party time. The second thing is that it truly is an icebreaker. And, you know, when a crowd walks into or a guest walks into the reception, they kind of go, where do we go from here? And so if you set your things down and now what do we do? You know, so the great thing about the photo booth is like, hey, let's go get in the photo booth. So that's the first part, is it's that icebreaker, that what do we do now? But then it also encourages chatter and laughter amongst guests who might be meeting for the first time. So sometimes at a wedding, you're assigned to a table or you're sitting at a table with people you don't know, and then you guys talk about your photo booth strip, and it kind of helps break the ice there. So the third great benefit about the photo booth is it is a party favor. And I always say it's a party favor your guests will actually keep. And I think back to 2011 when we first started photo booths, and I still have a strip in my office on my corkboard of photos that from one of my girlfriend's weddings. And unfortunately, they're not married anymore. But that strip is still there, and you hold on to those things because when you think about it, how many printed photos do you have? And very few. Yeah, you even me as a scrapbooker, I don't have a bunch of printed photos. So they're all on my phone. I can show them all to you. But to print a photo, that's a party favor your guests are actually going to keep. So I always tell guests or brides and grooms to invest in that for their guests. The next thing, it truly is the ultimate guest book. It's way better than your traditional, just write your name here and I'll never look at this book again. And half the time you can't even read the signatures. With the scrapbook that a lot of photo booth services offer, you put the strip in there and then you have the guests write a message, and it's just a great way to remember your wedding day. And it's a guest book that you truly will look at again, as opposed to just putting it on the shelf or in a box and you never see it again. So, and then finally, one of my favorite reasons for the photo booth is it provides additional memory options for your couples. So a lot of times those professional moments, they take your photo and your videographer, take a few months to get back to you. So you don't have those right away. With the photo booths, a lot of companies will provide those photos and videos taken in the booth and post those on Facebook or provide you with a USB or that scrapbook. So you get to relive those moments immediately. You don't have to wait. And of course, those photos are always more fun and candid. And so it's always great. It kind of holds you over till the professional product arrives. So lots of great benefits of a photo booth, but these are just some of the ones that came to mind off from what I've seen with a photo booth.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, it's just like you said, I think the shocking part, you know, you think, oh, well, we're not going to have any kids there. But honestly, it's not the kids who are, I have seen more older, older people in photo booths than even line up even more than if you do have kids at your reception, it's definitely not just for kids. And just like you said, I think the part about it being an icebreaker is so true because people want to have fun and it's just a great way to bring them together. To just be silly. I mean, how often do you just get to go somewhere and sometimes just be silly? I mean, tell us a little bit about props. I know that those go hand in hand with photo booths. So
there with Complete, we offer a wide array of props. I was actually just talking to a mom right before we got on the phone, and she's actually concerned about with the crisis, the virus right now. She's like, tell me about what your policy is. And so ordinarily we have signs, we have hats, sunglasses, boas, the works, all the fun stuff to dress you up. Now, with things going on right now, we are being very careful and just limiting what we do provide just to make sure we can disinfect it quickly. Because that's the big thing is, people share those right now. So, but props really add a lot of fun to the photo booth. We provide a lot. Sometimes our clients will have a special theme and they'll provide their own. But the props are definitely a fun way to disguise yourself if that's what you're looking for, or just change your look every time.
Yes, perfect. Okay. And I love that you touched on the guest book because, going back to, remember your wedding. I'm all about the memories of your wedding and going back and looking at a guest book that everybody's having fun in, because you don't get too many photos in that guest book where they're sober. I'm not saying they're not sober, but so let's preface that. So where they're just having fun because you've got them there. And so I feel like that is such a great way to remember your reception. So is there anything else on that topic?
Just kind of what you touched on, you can see the progression throughout the night. And we also, with our booths, we also offer video messaging as well. And that's where you can really see the progression, the messages, the advice, the well wishes and memories get a little different than they might have been earlier in the night.
Right.
So blackmail for future politicians, you never know.
Right. So true. So true. Alcohol, when it is served at your wedding, it gets a little interesting. You never know what you're going to get from that photo booth. That's for sure. Especially if you're having a long reception. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Anything else as far as that topic? We covered that pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Very good. So we are going to go ahead and go to the next. So we do have a couple slides for you as far as, now this is obviously from an event. And this is how you guys print you guys have a couple options, don't you?
Yeah, in fact, there's actually two different options displayed there. You can see a horizontal version and a vertical version. We can do 2x8s or 4x6. Photo booths these days can be any style. You can have one big photo. You can have 4 photos. There are so many different types out there right now. And this is just a sampling of some of the designs and layouts that we can do. Perfect.
And I love how, photo booths, just like you said, you've been doing this for, over 9 years, that how much you can personalize them now is really, really nice. And so it makes a big difference. Okay. And then go ahead and tell us about this one.
So that's the guest book. You can see one of the guests signing the guest book. So we've got the photo slapped in there, glued down for them, and then the guests are writing a message. So
perfect. Very good. Okay. So next so let me restart this, because one of the things we do with all of these videos, in case someone doesn't want to watch the whole entire video, we do take it and break it down between the 3 topics that Terrie is doing with us today. So we're going to go ahead and welcome everyone who is joining us. And feel free, if you are joining us, to make sure you give Terrie some love and ask any questions that you might have. We want to, at the end, we will answer any questions that you do have. And, it doesn't have to be just about this topic either. So if you do have any questions, feel free to add those to the comments if you're in our engaged couples group, or if you are just live on Facebook. So feel free to make sure you comment. And then, okay, so our next topic is, let me get this switched out really quick. Our next topic is how to engage your guests at a wedding reception. And again, if you're just joining us, I'm Deb with Top Weddings, and this is Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events. And so Terrie, let's go ahead and dive into this topic.
Yeah, so wedding receptions are a really great time to celebrate. You've brought guests together to celebrate your union. You want families to meet and to connect. And sometimes they need a little encouragement and how to engage them and how to get them involved in the reception. So I've brought along a few ideas with me that might help be some icebreakers for your guests, or just help them enjoy the party and find a way to get involved and have a great time. So instead of coming and eating and leaving. So we just talked about photo booth. Photo booth, obviously, I just told you all the great ways that it can benefit your guests. It's a party favor for your guest. It's something fun that they can do. It's an icebreaker for your event, a photo booth, and they're a very affordable option to engage your guests and keep them having a great time.
Perfect. And then
yard games. Yard games are perfect, especially nowadays. We have so many venues that are on acres and acres of land. And so you don't just have to stay confined to the little building you're in. Take advantage of all that space that you've rented for the day. We have several great rental companies in town that have cornhole or a giant Connect Four or Jenga. One thing that I saw at the Wedding MBA recently, which is a wedding vendor conference, was there were personalized cornholes. So you could give them or get them for yourself for your wedding and then keep them in your backyard for future barbecues and things. So there's so many fun yard games and things that you can do just to take advantage of the outdoor space that you get with your venue.
I think those are such good ideas. And you're right. We have so many beautiful venues that have space to be able to let their guests go out and do these things. So, which is so much fun. Okay.
Next one. So when they're sitting there and they're waiting for people to finish dinner or for their turn to go to the buffet or whatever it is, we have a lot of great options that you can do, making your programs or your menus or whatever more interactive. Mad Libs are really fun. It's something your guests can do while they're sitting there to make little stories. I'm leaning over to grab something. Cootie catchers. Who remembers these from grade school? Super fun. And basically, this one was created by our friends over at Paper World. It's a real popular way to do it. So they set it on the table. It actually has the bride and groom's name on it and the guest name and their table number. So they've used it as a seating chart. But then when you open it up, do you guys remember doing this part here? And this one, when you open it up, it actually has different questions about the bride and groom. So like, where are they honeymooning to? And what is their favorite color? And it's a fun way for guests to get involved with each other. Sometimes you sit at a table with people you don't know. So you can say, how did Justin propose? Well, he hid the ring in her dessert. And people might not know that story. So maybe there's somebody at the table who knows that story and shares that with everybody. So they're just a fun way to engage your guests and have fun. And they look really pretty. So they're interactive. Plus, in this case, it serves as a seating chart or a table guide to guide you to your table.
Oops, sorry. So I had to get off the screen in order to be able to show, for Terrie to show that closer. And I think those are so cute. I love that idea. It's been a while since I've did that, but I'm sure I could remember. But such a personalized, just such a personalized thing that you can offer. I love it. So, okay. Let's go ahead and go to the next. Okay.
So kids, it's one of those things that you love them. They're part of your friends. They're part of your family. You want them to come and enjoy the day, but they can't sit still for very long. So think about that when you're planning a wedding. Think, how can I engage these kids so their parents can enjoy the reception as well? So that's something else to think of. Coloring pages always go over great. And then just add fun games and things. If you have a DJ or a band, ask them to do the hokey pokey, the chicken dance, some of those fun dances that those kids like to do. I know one thing we like to do at Complete with the kids is usually before the dancing starts, they're kind of running all over the dance floor. And we need to do the first dance, but the dance floor is full of kids. So do I just make an announcement? Please come claim this kid. What we like to do is we like to do the hokey pokey or the chicken dance with them. So we call them out on the dance floor, do something fun, and then we invite them to take the best seat in the house and sit around the dance floor and let them know you are our special guest. You're going to get the best seat in the house, have a seat. And it does two things. It takes them off the dance floor so the bride and groom can enjoy their first dance and those formal dances can happen. But it also lets the photographer know that they're not going to be running around in their way. So your photographer and videographer and those professionals can capture those moments. So take time to think about those kids. If you've invited them to be a part of your day, find a way to engage them and let them have a little fun.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then one of the biggest ones.
Yes. Definitely utilize your DJ. This is where it's going to separate the type of DJs that you hire. There are definitely sound providers, or human iPods, as I like to call them, out there that are available for you. So this will help you compare apples to apples when you're hiring your DJ. At Complete, we're not that human iPod. We MC, we coordinate, we interact. We like to have fun and engage your guests without being cheesy and intrusive. So there's so many things that we have in our library we can do. There's some weddings where they're like, well, we can't dance, but what can you do for us? And especially right now, David Tutera spoke. He's a big wedding professional, in case you don't know the name. He spoke just last week and said, I don't think we're going to be dancing at weddings until next year, with 6 feet apart, and stay in your family groups. So these are some great ideas to think about, how you can engage your guests and keep them entertained at your reception if dancing isn't going to be allowed due to social distancing, or any other time. These are always real popular games. So I picked some of our most popular ones that we do at Complete. Some are kind of ones that we developed on our own, and then some you've probably seen at weddings. The first one is the shoe game. You see a picture of a bride and groom doing it right here. Or it might be called the newlywed game. There's a lot of different names for it. Basically, the bride and the groom take one of each other's shoes, and we ask fun questions like, who said I love you first? Or who's the better cook? Or who's the fastest driver? Just fun questions. And your wedding guest will obviously find it funny, because the answer, sometimes the questions is like, oh, who is the better cook? Or who spends more money? And but in this question here, you can see they agreed. Whatever the answer was, it was an obvious one. It was definitely the groom. So shoe game, very fun. It's a great way, again, for your guests to learn a little bit more about your bride and groom.
Perfect. And I'll tell you, the greatest part about the shoe game is that they are back to back, so they cannot see what the other one is answering. And sometimes it's the hesitation of, do I really answer this? Because obviously, if you're the bride and you're answering in front of all of his family, and if you're the groom, you're answering in front of all of her family. So it's pretty funny to watch the hesitation of answering the questions. But this is a really, really fun game. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this one is one of my favorites. It's called the brown bag dance. And I'm not going to give any spoilers on how this turns out, but basically we invite, it works best when it's your groomsmen. We invite them all out on the dance floor to show us their best moves, but there's a catch. They're going to do it with a bag over their head, because we don't want them to steal anybody else's dance moves. So this is a fun one. It gets lots of laughs, creates lots of memories. Photographers and videographers love this icebreaker because it makes great footage for the wedding, and brides and grooms will laugh about this icebreaker for days.
Yes. Yes. So true. Oh my goodness. It's so true. So much fun to watch. Okay. And then.
So what you see here in this picture is a setup for a game we call Survivor. I like to say it's a mix between musical chairs and a scavenger hunt. So what we like to do, there's a lot of ways we can use this. This is popular at holiday parties and at weddings. One thing we like to do, if you're doing a buffet and you don't have an organized lineup of how you're dismissing your tables, we can have your guests earn their dinner at this point. And so they send one person from each table to come up, and everybody lines up. And we call out an item like a hole with a sock in it, or a sock with a hole in it. And all those people will run out into the audience and come back. And when they come back, there's going to be one less chair. So you lose one person each time. And so the order that you win in, so first place goes to dinner first and second place goes second. But it's also just a fun way for your guests to engage and interact with each other, because a lot of times, as we've mentioned, they know the bride, they know the groom, but they don't know everyone. And so they're going to run up to strangers, and now they're going to have to take that sock back. Hey, thanks for giving me that sock. They're not going to go back to their own table if they're competitive and want to win. So it's a fun game. It, again, lots of great memories. It gives your guests something to do, lots of great photos and videos. And sometimes we even do this when the bride and groom are finishing up sunset pictures or something. So just trying to find ways to keep your guests active and involved while the bride and groom aren't there. So fun one, real popular for us.
Yes. And this is so much fun. It's so much fun to watch them go out and panic because they're trying to find it. Because not only do they have to find the item that has been requested, but then they got to get back to make sure they still have a seat. So yeah, it is so much fun. So much fun. Okay. Okay.
So then we have a few more that I don't have pictures of because they're a little harder to show. The next one is Dance Craze. It is a really fun dance contest, and this is real popular at schools, company parties, and weddings. We'll call up some people who really want to strut their dance moves, and we pick the song for them, and they do it, and we'll have some fun prizes for them to win. But it's basically a dance contest, but we get to pick the music, and of course we keep it family friendly because it's a family environment typically at a wedding. So Dance Craze is a lot of fun, especially if you got some people who think they have dance moves. Next one, lip sync battle. You've probably seen the shows. The contests are super fun. This one takes a little bit of planning ahead of time. We usually work with the brides and the grooms, and they'll contact their wedding party and have their wedding party work up some fun lip sync skits or choreography. And it's a lot of fun for your guests. Keeps them entertained, and you never know what's going to happen when you do a lip sync battle. No two lip sync battles have ever been the same. It's a ton of fun for your wedding party plus your guests. It keeps them entertained. And sometimes the bride and groom have no clue what's in store. So that always makes it fun. The next one, Wedding Party Feud. We have some software where it's a lot like Family Feud. You remember Family Feud back in the day. And I don't know if it's still on the air. I see it on the Game Show Network. I don't know if that's current, but
Yes.
super fun. And we have a way to survey the guests during the wedding. So then when it's time to play this game, we can play the Wedding Party Feud. So we have your brides, maids, and groomsmen. We have them set up just like we would in Family Feud. And we usually have some kind of fun prize for the winning team. And again, another fun way for everybody to learn more about the bride and groom. Some fun questions like, what is the father of the groom thinking right now? You know, oh my gosh, there goes my little girl, or, oh, I've spent a fortune on this wedding, or when can I get out of these shoes? So just some fun questions, and you get some fun responses. And again, keeps your guests entertained and gives them something to do while they wait. This next one is actually dancing, but social distancing says families can stay together. So the happily married couple dance. This is great because everybody gets a chance to slow dance with their loved one. You slowly dismiss folks from the dance floor. We start with, if you've been married less than a day, step off the dance floor. So obviously our newlyweds are going to step off and they're going to watch their guests dance. And then we go through the years. And I love to do at the end, that couple that has been married the longest, what's your advice? And they offer advice to the bride and the groom. We also use this for couples that aren't doing a bouquet toss. This is also a great way to decide who's going to get your bouquet. Happily married couple dance. It's a timeless tradition. It's one that everybody can do. We can still do it while practice social distancing. So, and then the last one, 5-minute photo. It's a new one we came out with Complete about a year ago, and it's been super popular. Basically, what we do is we get photos of every single one of your wedding guests. But what we do is we tell your tables, okay, and this is when we work in partner with your photographer. So whether it's a complete photographer or your own, totally fine with us. We play well in the sandbox with everyone. So we line it up with your photographer. We talk with them ahead of time. We say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 5 minutes. We're going to play a really fun song that's kind of upbeat and has your guests up. And then we're going to go around and have the bride and groom take pictures with every single table. And that way you get pictures of every single one of your guests who were at your reception. And I think back to my wedding 15 years ago when we had over 300 guests and I couldn't even tell you who all the guests were. I would love to have had these photos and been able to go through and go, that was table 11. Those were, Uncle Joe and Bob and Carol, who I used to work with. So it's a fun icebreaker. Everybody gets to be a part of it, and you get photos of every one of your guests.
I love that. I love that. And happily married couple dance. I love that dance, and I love when they give advice. And I think the longest married couple that I've found or that I've seen was 75 years. I could not believe it. It was so shocking. And yeah, and their advice was so sweet. I mean, and that's such a sweet moment for the couple on their wedding day, to hear that advice, because if they've been married, if they've won that couples dance, then they usually have some advice. You hope it's a good advice.
Yeah.
I love all of those. And, and I know we've said this, a lot of times, but when you're planning, your wedding, your DJ really and truly is the master of ceremonies for your reception. Sometimes even they help with ceremonies, but you want, the thing about your reception is that you want to, at that point, you're done with all the formalities and you just want to enjoy it and you just want to have fun. And when you hire a wedding DJ, and there is a big difference between there's a lot of amazing DJs out there that can get people on the dance floor, but honestly, just make sure, my advice always is just make sure that they have wedding experience, because it's completely different. And just like the games that you're talking about, I mean, those games are ones that not only you will remember, but also your guests will remember. And, and it's just something that it's fun. But yeah, DJs definitely are not just somebody who walks in and plays music. It's just not. So I know, Terrie, we've worked with you lots of times. We have such amazing DJs in this area, and but I can tell you they earn every penny, every penny, because it is, they just keep it going and they just keep everybody entertained and just having fun. So I love all of this. That was it for that. Yep. So is there anything else you want to touch on as far as in your wedding reception?
Yeah, one thing that sometimes I hear from brides when I ask them about hiring a DJ is, what do you not want to see at your wedding? And one thing that they say is, I don't want the DJ to steal the show. I don't want my guests to forget that it's my wedding. And that's one of the great things, is you can learn. A good DJ knows the balance. They know it's black and white. It's not gray. Here's how we are interactive and engaging and entertaining without being intrusive and stealing the show. And all these things allow you and your wedding party to be the focus of the event, not your DJ.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just checking questions really quickly to see if we had any. We've got some questions that came in. And I'll just go ahead and hold those off till the end, because one of them is a photo booth question. So let's go ahead. So if you're just joining us, let's go ahead and go to this next topic. If you're just joining us, I am Deb with Top Weddings, and thank you for jumping on with us. We do lives every week with Top Weddings. We do them on Wedding Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and today we have Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events, and she has already covered 2 topics, and so we are on topic number 3, which is questions to ask when hiring your wedding entertainment. And then after this, we will go ahead and there's a few questions that came in. After, we'll go ahead and answer questions. So if you do have questions, feel free to go ahead and leave them in the comments, and we will touch on them after this one. So let's go ahead with questions when hiring, top 10 questions when hiring your wedding DJ.
As I mentioned earlier, I've been a wedding DJ for over 18 years. And so when I started to put this list together, I thought it was really important to get some advice from a professional on what to ask, because most of the time, this is a bride's first time planning a wedding. And the only question they know to ask is, how much does it cost? They don't know that there's so many more factors that go into hiring a DJ aside from what we cost. So this list is helpful for brides and grooms as they plan their big days and help them compare apples to apples when they're hiring a professional that's going to entertain their wedding. So first question up, do you have liability insurance, a contract, etc.? The liability insurance is an important question because a lot of venues require it. And you don't personally want to be responsible for that DJ bringing a light that catches fire and then catches the venue on fire. I know it's way blown out of proportion, but those things happen. Or a guest tripping over a speaker because the DJ didn't set the speaker up right and it falls over and it breaks their arm. So you want to make sure that they have a liability insurance. You want to make sure they have a contract, You want to make sure that they're not somebody that you just found on Craigslist that's going to take your deposit and then you never see them again. That contract is legally binding. These that first question, really make sure you know if they're a legit business or not. Do they really know what they're doing, or do they just go to Radio Shack and buy some equipment and call it good? So that's the first question. The second question, do you supply all your own equipment? This is twofold. First of all, do they have it all? And second of all, what are my additional expenses going to be? Because your price of $600 may have looked really good compared to the other DJs I looked at, but now I have to rent equipment for you. So I need to factor that into the overall cost. So it's important to make sure that they either supply it or you know what your true cost is going to be when you hire this professional for your wedding. The next thing, do you use a predetermined set list? Do you take requests? What about a do not playlist? While music isn't the most important part of the evening when the event starts flowing, it's your day. And do you want the DJ to play what they always play, or do you want to be in control of that list? Some DJs will tell you, I'm the professional, let me do it. And if that works for you, that's great. But if you know you're going to want red dirt country and you want lots of red dirt country and that DJ says that nobody's going to dance to that, that's not going to be a good fit for you. So know that before you hire them. Don't run into that after you've hired them, paid your deposit, and then find out, oh, this isn't actually what we wanted. And do not playlists are extremely important. It's funny because probably one of the most popular songs that we get asked is also one of the do not play songs, and that's the chicken dance. And it just depends on your family, whether or not you have to do that at every wedding. It's a family tradition, or, oh my gosh, I do not want to hear that at my wedding. Right. So it's important that it truly is your day. We have brides and grooms all the time that ask us, can you send me a sample playlist? Well, I can certainly send you a list of songs that go over well generally, but you typically don't know until you get there and you meet the crowd and you see what they're responding to. And your bride and groom's requests are typically what their guests are going to line up with. So, right. The fourth question, payments. How do you handle payments? Do you offer payment plans? Do you take credit cards? Important questions to plan your budget. Most companies work with a deposit down and then the final payment due sometime closer to the event. At Complete, we require 2 weeks prior as your final balance, but then we set them up with a payment portal so they can make payments along the way at their own pace. So that's an important question. Do you have to pay it all up front, and do you have that budget to pay all that up front? Can you act as a master of ceremonies? Like we just talked about earlier, a good DJ is going to have mic skills. Not every DJ is comfortable talking on a mic. It's one of the number one fears. First is talking on public speaking. Second is death, So are they comfortable talking on a microphone in front of strangers? That's important. Are they going to MC? Are they going to coordinate? If that's important to you and you want somebody who's truly going to run the show and allow you to relax and enjoy your day, make sure they do those things. Don't just assume that they're a DJ. Of course they can make announcements. They may be a club DJ and they've never made announcements except for put your hands in the air, So if that's not what you're looking for, make sure they do that.
Yes.
Next question, an important question, what are you going to wear to my wedding? Because we don't always DJ the events we go to, I see DJs in jeans, I see DJs in shorts and t-shirts and hats, and it's a black tie affair. So if this is something that's important to you, if you want them to be more formal, make sure that they're going to be able to do that. If you know it's a barn wedding, are you comfortable wearing jeans to my wedding? So make sure that you understand how they're going to dress. You don't want your DJ to stick out like a sore thumb. You truly want them to blend in with your wedding guests. So another important question. A big one, super important question. What's your backup plan if there's an equipment malfunction or you get sick or in an accident? We do 500 events a year with Complete, and at least twice a year, we have to call in our backup DJ. Things happen, life happens, tragedies happen, equipment malfunctions. Recently we were at an event here in town and a power surge happened and it blew our entire system. Thankfully, it was 20 minutes away tops. We had an on-call DJ. They loaded up the equipment, took it out there. The event went off without a hitch. So these things happen. What's your backup plan? If you're concerned about these things happening, it's not selfish to ask, to say, I don't want my wedding day to be ruined. What's your backup plan? That is not a selfish question. Professional companies typically have somebody that they work with, other companies that they partner with, or they have a big staff and they can cover that for you. The eighth question, will we meet closer to the wedding to discuss songs, details, etc.? If you're comfortable with just anyone showing up the night of your wedding, that's no problem. That's up to you. But for a lot of people, they know that the DJ can really make or break your reception. As a professional, we try to encourage you to actually meet one-on-one with your DJ. Make sure they understand the vibe that you're looking for your day. Make sure they understand the feel. Sometimes we can't meet one-on-one with our clients because they're coming from out of town. So the week of the event, we'll do what we call a pre-call, and we'll do a Zoom meeting or a phone interview or whatever. But just make sure you get a chance to connect with your DJ, that person who you're relying on to cover your event. It makes you much more relaxed and you're able to enjoy your day because you don't have to worry and say, 7:30, does the DJ know we're cutting the cake? Does he know that the photographer's here? You've already discussed that. You get to relax, enjoy your day, and have a great time. So question number 9, how can you motivate a crowd if no one is dancing? Different people have different goals with their reception. Do you want people to dance all night and that's important? Does the DJ have experience to engage your guests and get the dance floor full? For some people, that doesn't matter. They're like, we're going to drink and sing along to the music. We're not worried about dancing. But if that's important to you and you want to make sure your DJ has experience engaging crowds and getting them on the dance floor and teaching those dances or whatever it is, those tools and tricks that they use to keep your dance floor full all night, make sure you ask that question. And then the last question I have on here, I really feel is probably the most important question. I'd argue that it is the most important because it's what makes you different than other DJ companies. And notice that I say what makes you different, not better, because there are so many great companies out there that I happily refer to when we are booked. It happens all the time. But what makes us different? It allows you to truly compare apples to apples. You know, we are a full-time company that we're going to engage your guests. We're going to do all these great things for you. And if that's what you're looking for, awesome. And different companies have different things that they specialize in. It may be a karaoke that, you know, I may get a bride that says, I really want a ton of karaoke. And I'll say, honestly, that's not our specialty. I'm going to refer you to a different company for that service. So ask them what's important. It helps you to know that you're truly comparing those apples to apples when you're hiring a DJ or entertainment for your wedding.
Perfect. And I just realized I didn't change the bottom question. Dang it. I didn't change the bottom graphic. So Terrie, that's I think that was an amazing list, and I love the detail that you gave. I could go back to all of those, to be honest with you. One of the things that you said quite often was, you know, that it's okay for a couple to ask questions. And I think that every couple needs to realize that, you know, and then you also touched about, you know, what you want at your wedding. It's okay to let your DJ know those things. I mean, if you do not want, you know, just like that do not playlist, it is funny because it is definitely one or the other. I feel like just some are like, I absolutely do not want that. And obviously as professional DJs, there's a lot of times you know what's going to work or what works 95% of the time. But that, just like you said, you know, when you have a good DJ, it is going to be something that they adapt to your crowd. And knowing that you can ask the questions, or, you know, just like with the song list, some couples are like, oh, I don't even want to mess with that. But honestly, I love how you said that. A lot of it's going to depend on the couple. You know, if you don't want to play something that they absolutely hate, that's for sure. Because, you know, still, even at the reception, it's all definitely about the couple. And obviously always nice to pull in those guests too. So, but I love that, you know, with these questions, that it's something that, that you're letting couples know that, you know, you can ask these questions because we want you to have a good DJ. Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, lastly, with anything, trust your gut. If you feel like you're being sold by a used car salesman, you know, go with that. If you feel like you've got a great personal connection with somebody, don't make it about price, because it's never about price. $50, $100, you can pay $200 to absolutely ruin your wedding. And that's exactly what you're going to do. So in the grand scheme of things, the difference between DJs price-wise is really minimal compared to the overall price of your wedding and the impact that they'll have on your day. So take price out of the equation whenever possible and focus on what you truly feel. How do you feel? Does this person really make you relax? And do you feel that you're connecting and they're really going to make great memories for you?
Yes. And I love that. You know, I am very passionate about DJs. I have been since I've been in the wedding industry, to be honest with you, because it only takes a few bad receptions to make you realize how important a good DJ is. I mean, to watch a couple plan this whole entire beautiful ceremony and beautiful, you know, an amazing photographer and a videographer and all of these amazing things to get to the reception and not have a DJ that is experienced and just bringing in the crowd and you know, you've did all of to then just be able to relax and enjoy your reception, and that all falls back on a good DJ. I mean, it just does. So so I love, you know, I've worked with Complete lots of times. I love what you do, and thankful for you and for all the years that you've been bringing all of these services. Okay, well, we have just a couple questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Anything else that you want to add to that as far as that topic?
Nope, I think that's good. I think we covered it all.
Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and get to the next slide. So again, if you're just hopping on, I am Deb with Top Weddings, and this has been Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events. And we covered 3 amazing topics tonight. So I want to thank you, Terrie, for jumping on with us and answering or doing so many amazing topics. I think all of those will help couples that are planning a wedding. And so, but we did have a couple questions. So one of them is, how many people normally do you recommend, like, in a picture in a photo booth?
So there are lots of different styles of photo booths out there. At Complete, we offer an enclosed booth, which can hold about 4 comfortably. We can squeeze in 6 or 8. But then there's an open air style, and the open air style, you can really, the sky's the limit. We did a group of 18 at one of our last events. So depending on what style of photo booth there, and then there's the cute fisheye ones that you can fit a ton of people because of the way that the lens is designed. So anywhere from 2 to 30, you know, just depending on which booth you decide to go with.
Perfect. And then how far ahead should a couple book services, book good DJ?
Yeah, so a very good question, and there's no good answer for it because, truth be told, we are booking weddings for 2022 right now, and I'm also booking weddings for July right now. So it's simply about availability. When you find a vendor you love, book them. Don't wait. Don't say, well, we still have 16 months or we still have a year when you're just the DJ, so we're going to hold off. Our deposits are minimal, so that way it allows you to go ahead, get your first pick vendors, go ahead and take care of that, and then worry about payments for everybody else. So definitely, as soon as you know that that's the person you want, don't wait.
So true. That is so true. Lori commented and said, great job. Lots of good tips for brides. And let's go ahead. I think that's it. So, okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
Nope. No, if anybody has any more questions or anything, we do call, text, and email. So I know text is unintrusive for a lot of our brides these days. So if you have a question, you just say, hey, I saw you on live at 5. I have a question about this, and I'll totally answer and give you as much feedback as I can. We love to be a resource for our clients. So if there's, even if it seems like an off the wall question, or the number one question, the intro to a question I get from brides and grooms usually is, I know this is really weird, but, or I hate to bug you, but, you know, use us as a resource. And the same goes for the rest of your wedding vendors. use them as resources. You hired them for a reason. Ask them the craziest questions. They've probably heard it before.
Yes, it's so true. And that is the truth. Most brides are like, most couples when they call, oh, I hate to ask this question, but, and no, we've heard it all. So don't ever feel like that. Always just ask the question. And actually we had one more question come in. Sorry, Terrie, I'm going to jump back real quick. Do you guys do uplighting?
At Complete, yes, we do uplighting. Yep. And it's fun. It's one of my favorite things about our uplights is they're completely wireless, so nobody has to trip over cords or anything. But then we can change them to one color that kind of goes with the formal events. And then when the party starts, we can change them to sound mode, and then the lights dance with the music, and then the whole event space feels like the party zone. So it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend them. They're a very budget-friendly way to decorate at your event.
Yes, and they really do change a room. That is for sure. Yeah. Crazy how much they change a room. Definitely. Okay. Well, I think we're all done. So thank you for being on. Thank you for joining us today. Excited. Thank you all, everyone who joined us, who is watching right now. Thank you for joining in. We're excited to bring this every week. And, today, again, was goodness, I'm tongue-tied. Today, of course, we brought on Terrie with Complete Weddings and Events, and we do this every Wednesday. Next week is Patty with Simply Delicious, so we're excited about next week's live at 5. And if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here at Top Weddings for you. I mean, honestly, we are here, to help in any way that we can. So feel free, just like Terrie said, use your wedding professionals. Feel free, always reach out to all of your wedding professionals, especially in this time. If you have questions about anything going through this time right now, make sure that you're reaching out to your wedding professionals and asking any questions that you have. But also know here at Top Weddings, we are here too. So we are here to help you in any way that we can, because, that's what we're here for. So, and on Top Weddings, we have 50 different wedding professionals that are, if you are still planning and you're looking for amazing, already pre-qualified wedding professionals, we have a lot of them. And obviously Terrie is in a couple of those categories on Top Weddings. So we love her. And but thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, Terrie. Thanks for spending your almost an hour with us, and grateful for all the help that you've given, because I really feel like it'll help couples. So thank you. Thank you
for having me. It's been fun.
It has been fun. Yes. So, okay, guys, thank you. And we will see you next week at 5 o'clock. Bye.
Bye.